beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So the first thing I want to point out is this beautiful glittery background. I got a new background because honestly that black one was like dulling me out and making me depressed and sad, so I had to get something a little bit more glam. Anyways, this video is going to be a little bit more on the serious note because I was almost completely involved in a makeup artist human trafficking scam, which I will get to all that information in a little. Before I start my video, I do want to give a shout out to Makeup by Yazzie because honestly I feel like Yazzie saved my life, and thanks to her video I was able to come to my senses and not be involved in this horrible scam, which I literally could have disappeared. So why I'm making this video? In our makeup artist industry, us artists that are on the road traveling all the time, trying to make money, trying to hustle, we dream big. We have huge dreams of becoming famous people makeup artists and doing all these wonderful things and traveling and this and that. But unfortunately in our industry, there's a lot of shady people that either just want to take our money or want to take advantage of us or just want to literally take us from our family. This video is going to be to spread awareness on makeup artist scams or in general scams in this industry, and to make sure that this type of scam does not happen to you. I also want to raise awareness to the human trafficking because it's literally happening right under our noses and we have no idea that it's happening. Like literally there are people being owned by other people and we don't even see it. It's right in front of our eyes. It's happening every day and we just don't even see it. I feel like sometimes we even ignore situations like this that are very serious because slavery is still existing to this day, and I know that a lot of people don't see it or don't care for it or don't necessarily want to get involved with it, but in this world and age there's still slavery going on, and there's still this serious situation of humans being owned by other humans. Alright, so what happened? What's the tea, and how did I almost get stolen from my family? So I received an email from Annie Lubowitz? I'm not pronouncing that right. Annie Lebowitz, which is a famous photography company. I looked it up. They're on Instagram. It's a real thing. It's a real company. And I was like, wow, why is this company contacting me? I mean, I know I'm a good artist. I've been told I'm a good artist, but they're very, very, very famous. So I was like, okay, let's see. So they contacted me. His name was Roy, and he was supposed to be the director of the event or whatever. So Roy contacts me and tells me that there is a Puma photo shoot that they're going to be involved in, and that he needs me to be one of the makeup artists. It's going to be a 5-day event, and we're going to pay you $5,000. I was like, that's like gas for almost a year. I was like, oh wow, I can pay a credit card. That's a lot of money. And I was like thinking of all these wonderful things I would do with this money. So I was like, okay, $5,000. I mean, seems legit. Puma is a very well-known company, so is Annie Lebowitz Photography. And I was like, okay, maybe, you know, they are really high-end, they're up there. I'm gonna accept this. It's $5,000, okay. And we're gonna give you a down payment of $500 to save the dates. And I was like, okay, legit, you know, we're gonna give you a deposit. It usually happens all the time. You know, they wanna make sure that you're gonna be at the event, so they give you a deposit. And then he sends me the contract. So the contract, which I'm gonna put a picture right here. The contract was very legit looking. Everything that he had emailed me was literally on the contract, reconfirming all the information that he had been telling me. And I was like, okay, fine. He's like, okay, we need you to send the contract because the date is going to be such day, and it was literally kind of in a week. And I was like, wow, this is so tight, like I don't know. So I looked at my calendar. I made sure that I was open for that day. I contacted my boss for my job and I told him that I needed such days open, and I was set. And then he told me in the email, I need you to send this contract as soon as possible because we got to get this information in as soon as possible so we could send you the check. Now, one of the fishy things that I should have caught, he said, I'm gonna send you the $500 deposit, but I'm gonna send you extra money because that money's gonna be for a kit that you have to purchase on your own, and that kit you're gonna be using on the models. I'm like, okay, I mean, usually when a photography company or a company wants you to do makeup with a certain brand, they usually just give it to you, you know? They tell you to go to their office or headquarters and they just give it to you. So that was a little odd for me, like, oh, okay, so you want me to purchase it, like you trust me with money to purchase it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with it because maybe it's a little different. They're a really high-end company. They maybe don't have a person in charge of like grabbing the kits and giving it to us. So let's just benefit of the doubt. Okay, a little fishy, but okay, let's give it a whirl, see if it's legit. So I was like, okay, fine. Email the thing, just basic information, name, number, and what type of bank. And they specifically put, do not tell us your bank information. I was like, okay, so you're trying not to look fishy and you're trying not to ask me for my bank information. They still asked me for my bank, like what bank I had, and I was like, okay, so I have this bank, whatever. I emailed the contract as quick as possible because he's like, you have 24 hours, we need the contract now because like the date is right around the corner. I was like, okay, fine. Literally the next day I get a text message like, hi, how are you? I just mailed in your check so you can retrieve your $500 and the rest you could use for your kit. And I was like, okay, great. I waited, I went to work, whatever. I came back from work. And he texted me, he's like, you should have your check in the mail. And I was like, okay, so fast, like at least 3 days, you know? No. Literally the next day, like right after work, I was like, okay. I already had doubts about the situation. So on my way home, I told my dad, hey, can you get a check that's in the mail for me from that photography company? Because I told my whole family, I was like, I need to tell everybody just in case, like for me, it was a big deal. So I was like, oh my God, it's a big brand, whatever. So I just told everybody, my boyfriend, my family, my everything, that it was happening. So I told my dad to go to the mailbox, and then he goes to the mailbox and he tells me he doesn't see anything. And I was just like, okay, that's weird. Maybe, like I said, like it should take about 2 to 3 days for you to get a check in the mail. I text the guy and I'm like, hey, I don't see the check in the mail. And he was just like, for sure you have to have it. I just tracked and checked the tracking number on your check and it has to be in the mail. And I was like, wow, tracking number and everything on a check? Okay. I literally text my dad, call my dad. He's like, and I tell him, hey, are you sure it's not around? And he's like, no, for sure. Literally get home and I asked the guy, are you sure it was supposed to come in today? And he goes, actually, yes, it should probably be in a FedEx envelope. And I was like, okay, FedEx envelope, a check, fine. So I told the guy, I'm gonna check around the front of my house. Maybe the FedEx truck left it in front of my house. I check in front of my house, there's nothing. My plant or something, and nothing. Rechecked my mailbox, nothing. I looked on my table and there was a FedEx sleeve waiting to be opened. So I opened the FedEx sleeve. By the way, one thing that was very fishy, the email was a Gmail. It was not like an official Annie Lebowitz, .com or whatever. It was a Gmail. So that already is a little bit fishy. If you're getting these emails, make sure that it's not a Gmail because it would be an official company, not a Gmail or a Yahoo or an Outlook. So that was one fishy thing that I noticed. The next fishy thing I noticed is the FedEx envelope was from another state. It wasn't from here. Even though he said in the email that they were based in New York. And I was like, okay, maybe everything would come from New York. But no, the FedEx envelope where the check came in was from another state. I think it was from Ohio or something like that. Random state, just a random state. Then the actual check was a cashier check. So it's secure money, it's real money. It was a real check. I checked it, I made my bank check it, and the name on the check did not match the name of the person emailing me and texting me, Roy. And I asked him like, oh, why isn't the name on the check your name? And he's like, well, the check is from one of our sponsors. And I was like, okay, one of your sponsors, right? I mean, Puma should probably have a lot of sponsors. Or the Annie Lebowitz Photography should have a lot of sponsors. They are a big company. I kept on going with the whole thing. I went to my bank, and since I'm very, very sketchy, it seemed very sketchy to me. So when I went to the bank with the check, I didn't go straight to the teller. I was very skeptical about this whole check thing. And I heard rumors that if you put a check in your account account that is fake, they could potentially close your account and then you no longer have a way to open an account with that same bank. So to avoid that, I went to a representative on the side, and she told me that the check looked real. Her tellers said it looked real. It probably would process, but in the case that it did process and it was processed as a fake check at the end of the procedure, that my account would be closed and it would be the end of the world for me to ever have a bank account with them. So I was like, okay, I don't want to run that risk with you guys. Is there any way that I could check that the check is real? She goes, yeah, you could call the bank, give them the number on the bottom of the check and check if the check is real. So I was like, okay. So literally in front of her with my phone battery at 5%, always never have battery, I checked the bank that was on the check and I called them. They have a few branches, none in Florida, of course. I called the bank and I confirmed that I want to make sure that the check that I got in the mail is a real check. Is there any way I could check? Yes, they said. Okay, what do I need to give you? Give me all the numbers on the bottom and then we'll figure this out. So she checked it and she said all the numbers were correct. It was a legit check. There was a count in the money that if I do deposit it, the money will go through and it will process. I was like, okay, so we have a legit check. I rechecked again. So I literally called another branch, the same bank, other branch, just to double check that it was a legit check, because I really didn't want to close my bank account. I really like the bank that I have and I don't want to lose connections with that bank. Literally called another branch, did the same thing, and they told me the same thing. Yes, it's a legit check. It has money inside of it. It has money. The bank account has money. You can for sure go ahead and deposit the check. Okay, this is a legit check. Now, the check was $2,450. And $500 was supposed to be for me. That was supposed to be my deposit. And I was like, wow, why are they giving me so much money? Why are they trusting me with so much money? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I am a trustworthy person, but they don't know that. Like, I don't deposit a check at my bank account. I have a spare bank account for emergencies like this. So I have another bank that I have on the side that I don't care for, that I have for these same instances where I feel like something is fishy and I just deposit it there. So I literally went to the other bank account, explained to them the same situation, to the teller, not the actual representative, because we already rented that, and I told them, listen, I have this issue, do you think I still can deposit the check? They were like, of course you can deposit the check, we'll be fine, whatever, we don't care. I deposited the check at the bank. It's real, it processed, and the bank told me, okay, we're gonna give you $100 now, tomorrow you'll have $200, and then on the next day you'll have the full $2,450. So I was like, okay. So I text Roy, if you're even real, and I tell him, hey, I just deposited a check. He goes, great, do you have $200? I'm like, no, I have $100 and then I will have $200 tomorrow. He goes, oh, why don't you have the $200 right now? And I'm like, because the bank account takes time to process. Honestly though, what happened, the bank put the check on an extra hold because they heard my story and they were a little bit fishy about it. I was like, okay, for security purposes, extra hold, whatever, not in a hurry, still have a whole week for the event to come anyway. So I had my $100 and I told Roy, I'm gonna have my $200 tomorrow and then we're gonna get the full process check on the next day. So it's like a 3-day process thing. We'll have the full $2,450. I can take out my $500 and the rest would be for the makeup kit for you guys, for me to go get, you know? So he's like, okay, well, we can't wait for Wednesday. I'm gonna need you to text me tomorrow, tell me when you have the 200, and I'm gonna tell you where to put those 200 or where to take those $200 for a deposit for the makeup kit. And I was like, okay, that's it. This is completely fishy. I don't trust anything he's saying. I'm 100% like super skeptical right now. I'm gonna do my research 100%. That night, while I was waiting for the $200 to process, because I refreshed my bank 300 times, I literally went on a rampage of searching, Googling everything, the whole thing, the contract, whatever, YouTube videos. And one of the YouTubers that inspired me, Makeup by Yazzie, thank you so much for saving my life, because thanks to your video, you 100% convinced me that I was involved in a human trafficking scam for sure. Besides her video and millions of their videos and Googling websites that I did, let me put this in perspective. Everything that just happened, let me just summarize it to what would really happen if I would have continued the scam and I would have continued with the $200 deposit. The next day when I woke up, I didn't go to work because I was super scared that someone was following me, and I was super paranoid. And I contacted my boss. I was like, hey, I'm not coming to work, I'm having a personal emergency, this and that. And he was just like, okay, you know, it's fine, that's fine. I called a police officer and I told him the story. They sent me a police officer that was specialized in scams, as that's what he said. He told me, after I told him the whole story that I just told you guys, he told me that this happens all the time, like almost every day, that it's completely normal, and that he was not going to report the situation. And I was just like, oh my god, so you're just gonna let this slide? Like, you're just gonna let this slide? And he goes, yeah, it's fine, it's something that happens all the time. And he goes, you could report it to the FBI if you like. And I was like, oh, okay, I feel 100% safe right now. So he told me, block the number, who's ever texting you, block that number, go to your bank account, cancel the transaction so that money can be sent back to the bank account that it came from, and just pretend that nothing happened, because nothing is gonna happen. So what he told me that these people work from other countries, and they literally have this setup where everything comes from different states, so you can't track them. And that the money that they were telling me to take obviously was not for a makeup kit. It could have been for several things. He said it could have been for some type of drug trafficking. I could have been transferring money for somebody, like illegally transferring money to something, making an exchange, involving me in something that I didn't sign up for. It could also be for terrorism, like they're literally just using you as a way to transfer money to buy stuff for terrorism. And the most serious one, which for me was the worst, was the human trafficking. So they literally will tell you, listen, I need you to take those $200 for that deposit like today, because you know the event is coming up or whatever. And you would go take the deposit to somewhere sketchy, and they would just take you and you would just disappear. Now, a lot of videos that I looked up, including Yazzy's video, they said that a lot of models were disappearing because of the same contract scam. So there was a literal human trafficking scam going around for the models, which I saw those contracts was very similar to mine, just changed up a little bit because I am a makeup artist and they have to, you know, accommodate to my situation to fool us. They were just disappearing, and it was just like, what the heck is happening? And there was no way of tracking these people because they're just, everything is just in different states. Like the phone number, the packaging, everything was from different states. I think that the way they were setting it up, it was for me to be part of a human trafficking scam. I feel like I probably would have taken the $200 and someone would have literally taken me. And I'm so grateful for the internet to educate us on these things. Now, I cannot imagine like people who don't talk to their family or don't have a boyfriend or don't have friends and that just are just doing their job, you know, trying to make money, trying to hustle like we makeup artists usually are doing on the street, and literally get caught up in a scam like this and disappear, and we don't know. I seriously think that the money that was sent to me was literally someone paying for me. Like I was worth $2,450, and when I would do the exchange, it would literally be for my purchase, part of my purchase. And I really don't want this to happen to you. Ladies, if you are really young and you just started in the industry, you know, you love what you do, which is fine. It's good to love what you do. I 100% respect the fact that you guys are in this industry. If you're in the industry, doing what you love and love what you do, it is exactly why I'm in the industry. I'm artistic, I love what I do it with a passion, and that's great to hear. But there's a lot of fishy situations, things you have to look out for, and I want to just educate you guys on the situation. To end this video, like the officer told me, like the officer said to me at the end of our conversation, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Don't believe everything you get in your emails. I don't want this video to make you fear the industry, because the industry is a beautiful industry, but I also want you guys to be alert of the situation and make sure that the same situation that happened to me, or any similar situation where there's any similar contracts, happens to you. Don't let things like this or situations like this that happened to me kill your motivation as an artist or scare you. Don't stop dreaming. Keep dreaming. Keep aiming high in your career. Just make sure to Google your contract. Make sure to contact the company directly once you get that contract. So if Puma, for example, is contacting you, make sure to contact the Puma headquarters and confirm that the contract is legit. Make sure to look at your emails. Make sure that the email is not a Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, etc. Make sure it's an official email with the actual company in it. Make sure that the kit that they're giving you is them physically giving it to you. Make sure that the kit that they're giving you for their models that they're going to use are kits that are mailed to you and not kits that you have to go look for, or someone's going to physically give it to you. And make sure when you have any type of huge contract or deal or anything, that you make sure to tell the people or the loved ones around you, at least a best friend or something, and warn them that these things are happening, and make sure that they're aware that you're alive. You tell everybody that you can't, that you are in this big deal, and that you wanted to inform them just in case anything happens to you, they'll know what is happening with you. And I think the last thing that I want to tell you guys is that I want you to spread the word. Like, people don't know that this is happening. Like, no one really informs anybody about this. Like, we just see a whole bunch of makeup tutorials online, and we see all these wonderful, beautiful, artistic things happening, but no one informs people of serious matters like using you as a money smuggler. Like, no one informs people of like situations like human trafficking. Like, literally people are being owned by other people still to this day, and it's really hard for me to say that because no one thinks about these situations. No one honestly thinks about this or cares about it, and I feel like this is a very serious situation. Literally can happen to anybody. Alright guys, so this is all the information that I wanted to say. Drop a comment down below if you've ever had a situation like this happen to you, or if you have any questions on the situation, feel free to comment. DM me on my Instagram, which I will put at the end of the video. I will be linking Makeup by Jazzy's information down below, so you can watch her video and inform yourself more of the situation as well. And I'm trying to post videos once a month. It is very difficult for me once a week, so I'm trying once a month. And I know this video is more on a serious note, but for sure I will be making more tutorials. And I also want you guys to let me know, comment down below, do you like to see my face, or would you rather see actual people getting their makeup done by me? Let me know on the comments down below. Subscribe to me, make sure you click the little bell so you know when I post videos, since it's only gonna be once a month. Share this video, make everyone aware of the situation. Tell all your makeup artists, model friends, anybody in that industry that could be affected by this. Inform the world that this is happening. I will see you guys really soon. I have a lot of things that I'm working on, and I promise that I will have a lot more content like I've been promising. I've been trying to keep my promises, so you know, like, yeah. I will see all of you in my next video. Love you all, bye. Ready?